Okay. Is it going?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's Friday. Woohoo Friday. So, thank you. So if I can have your attention, we'll go ahead and do good things this morning. I know people are kind of going to be in and out, but we'll start with good things. So who has this, their good thing on Friday? Brandon.
My mom made really good pozole last night.
Ooh, what was that made of? What is that? What's in that?
It's soup.
Soup. Sounds good. Two.
My mom made pozole?
Yeah.
Oh, pozole.
Okay, 2 claps. 1, 2. Anybody else? You guys are kind of talkative today, aren't you? Anybody else have any good things? It is. It's the weekend. 1 more week till spring break, right? All right. I think we can all clap on that. 1, 2. Yes.
Well, yesterday we ordered pizza, and they came with like this whole different order that we didn't order. So we got that pizza, and then they went to go get our order, so we got 3 pizza.
All right. 2 for 1 there. 2 claps. 1, 2. And now. All right. So you're gonna go the West Mall and just hang out, huh? All right. 2 claps. 1, 2. Okay. So, did you have something, Hillary? No. Okay. Before we get started on what we're gonna do today, let us just let's just review yesterday's vocabulary before we start reading today's lesson. Okay, so does everybody remember our hand signals? What's the hand signal for resolve when you're determined? All right.
Your antlers.
Let's go. All right. We all got this? All right. What about if you're going to solve a conflict, solve a problem? So we're here with the conflict. Here, palms out and palms in.
Okay.
There you go. Palms in, and then we're going to go to the okay sign. All right? So we resolved the conflict. What about making new laws?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to we're going to legislate it. We're going to say they have to do it. What about amend? Amend.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
Okay, and what about equality?
Equal?
This one.
Yeah, up, down, in. All right, good deal. Okay, so we want to know those key terms so we can understand what we're reading. And so later on, you guys will be taking a little quiz about did you learn the actual terms. Just go straight down your eye. Just, okay, go this way with your stuff. There you go. And make sure that Melissa gets one.
Or you need to go back to your seat.
Okay, so okay, ladies and gentlemen. So, do I have any people who want to volunteer to read to begin with? Brandon, all right. Yeah, just the first paragraph. Okay, what I need everybody else to do is to listen carefully, right? All right, and follow along. Read the words as he is reading them. That's the best thing that you can do right now. Okay, Brandon, go ahead.
Okay. Angela started at a new school in 7th grade. During her first week, a group of girls started teasing her. Then more kids joined in. Now she gets called names every day. People push her in the hallways. They steal her backpack and throw it in the trash. Kendra wants to help, but she is embarrassed to tell her parents or the teacher. She feels like everything is her fault.
Okay, who else wants to go? Okay, Bianca, when you get to constitute, you have to do the signals. We forgot signals for constitute. What's constitute?
This one?
This one.
Okay.
We're gonna make it's what makes it up or what forms it. If something constitutes. Okay, Bianca, go ahead.
Okay.
Bullying is a big problem in schools today. Both boys and girls can be bullies or victims. Punching, teasing, and spreading rumors all are constitute
Good.
bullying. About half of all kids say they have been bullied at some point during their time in school. Many kids who are bullied have a low self-esteem. Some try to avoid school, some even think about killing themselves.
It's pretty sad, pretty sad. And now, go ahead.
It is important for schools to promote equality among all students. No one should be treated like they are less than anyone else. Therefore, many people believe that schools should pass rules to legislate and to bullying.
Who's next? However, all schools have rules against bullying, and those generally do not resolve the problem. Perhaps peer intervention constitutes the only resolution to bullying. Should kids step up when they see bullying incidents? Some researchers state that the bystanders who look on and do nothing are as guilty as the bullies. Anybody else want to read?
No.
You can read again if you want to. Bianca, go.
However, all schools have rules against bullying, and these generally do not resolve.
Right. I think that's what I just read.
Oh, really?
How about many bystanders?
Oh, yeah. Many bystanders are afraid to intervene, fearing they themselves will be targeted by bullies. Furthermore, many kids just don't know what to do. They say it's easier to walk away, so rather than amending the rules about bullying, maybe schools should
Amending?
teach kids this one.
Okay.
Schools should teach kids what to do when they see a bullying incident.
Okay.
Is it fair to blame bystanders for not intervening to resolve the bullying incident?
Yeah.
Should kids put themselves in danger to protect their classmates? So let's talk about this article for just a second, and we have some questions. So for instance, what do you think? Is it fair for people to, is it fair to blame people for not stopping the bullying, for not jumping in and saying, hey, knock it off, or something like that? What do you think?
I'm trying to say something.
When would it be yes and when would it be no?
When it's physical.
Okay, when it's physical, you would say, stop it,
Yeah,
or
like-
don't stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it. Okay, so if it's physical, you think you should jump in.
Yeah.
And if it's not physical, you're just gonna not worry about it.
Jump in.
Jumping, but not in that way.
Okay. What do you think?
It depends. I don't know. Like, well, if you see them bullying others, you should probably tell them that when it's get physical, you should probably like put your green on.
Okay, so if it's escalated to physical, somebody needs to definitely get involved, but if it's just words, we're not gonna worry about it so much?
No matter what, I would just go stand up for the kids, physical or not.
Physical or not, you wanna stand up for them, okay? All right? So, how many people think that words are just words and they don't really hurt you?
Words?
Yeah. Words are just words and they don't really hurt you.
Yeah, they find it.
They fly away?
Yeah.
What do you think, Sammy? They can actually hurt pretty badly. How? You're fine. Do they? Okay, so like when somebody says something mean to you or hateful to you, how long do you remember that? A few seconds for you. But I mean, it really, if it really hurt you, if it was really like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they just said that to me. How long does it stick with you?
For a while, but like if they say these things to you, like you shouldn't even pay attention to what they say.
Well, that's true. It's easier said than done, though, right? I mean, when a person is called a loser all day long, and people say things like, "Oh, just go kill yourself," that's, and you get that day after day after day. How easy is that to forget?
I forget it.
Okay. So maybe you can, maybe you can't. I think people have a tendency to think that physical violence hurts more, but that emotional violence is just as devastating. It's just as devastating as physical violence. The bruise is going to heal. You're going to stay away from that person probably if you can, but the bruise goes away, but those words, they just keep reverberating a lot of times, just keep going over and over again in your head. And how many times has somebody said something to you that you remember years later? Okay, so we do. We remember things years later. So we should probably get involved, you think, especially if it's physical. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's look at what we're going to do is we want to find out what the main idea of this paper is that you just read. Sammy, you might have to just scan it real quickly, okay, since you missed the reading of it. All right, so we're going to take the first, section of this finding the main idea, and we're going to work at it backwards. Instead of saying, okay, I think the main idea is this, we're going to look at it and say, we're going to look at it from the back forward, and those go to your right, Sammy. So let's say, I'm going to look at this paragraph that says, Kendra started at a new school in the 7th grade. During her first week, a group of girls started teasing her. Then more kids joined in. Now she gets called names every day. People push her in the hallways, they steal her backpack and throw it in the trash. Kendra wants help, but she is embarrassed to tell her parents or her teachers. She feels like everything is her fault. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to fill in the details of this paragraph. So what are the important things in this paragraph? So what's our first detail? Well, we still have to get her there first. What?
Kendra goes to a new school.
Okay, so Kendra goes to a new school. All right, then what happens? Then what you said happens, right? Go ahead, Bianca. Okay, so girls start teasing her. Right away, she's starting to get teased. Then what happens? What happens after that? Okay, more people join in. And so they call names, they push her, they steal. Steal her stuff and throw it away. What else happens? So how does this end up? Kendra?
She doesn't, she goes home, but she doesn't tell her.
Okay,
Or-
why doesn't she tell?
She was embarrassed.
She feels embarrassed.
Embarrassed.
And what else does she think?
Yeah,
think
she's
it's
a
her
mess.
fault.
It's her own fault. So in this paragraph, what would you say would be a good summary sentence if we had to pack all of those sentences into one idea? What would be a good summary sentence for this paragraph? Sammy?
Couldn't really thankful about her from school.
Okay, and?
And getting teased.
It's the same.
Yeah.
And what's the result of that?
That she feels embarrassed.
And so? And what's the result of her being embarrassed?
She thinks it's her fault.
She won't tell anybody, will she?
Yep. She won't.
She doesn't know what to do. Or you could put, she doesn't know what to do. Won't tell anyone, doesn't know what to do, thinks it's her own fault. Any of those will be fine. Okay, so we just dissected that first paragraph. So that's what you're gonna do for the rest of these paragraphs. Now, we are going to put, paragraph 2. If everybody would just mark these as paragraph 1 was what we just did. So there's 1. Paragraph 2 is the bullying paragraph where it says bullying, blah, blah, blah. And then the next paragraph is the equity paragraph. And number 4 is going to be the many bystanders are afraid to intervene. So 3, we're going to take both of those next 2 paragraphs and put those, roll those into number 3. And then number 4 is the last one. So I'm going to have you, Melissa, why don't you just go ahead and come sit right here? I'm just going to have you work with a partner. So if you two could work together and you two could work together, it'll be okay. He'll help you out. And you two could work together and you two could work together and you two could work together and you two could work together. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to dissect each of those paragraphs just like we did. What are the details? And then what conclusion can you come to? So work together with your partner. When you're in a partnership, what does it take to be a partner?
Work together.
Work together. What else? Help each other. What else? What? I didn't hear you, Luis. Sit up, please. Okay, so you have to participate. You can't just let one person do all the job, right? You have to work equally together. And so that means you have to provide suggestions, but you also have to listen to the other person. It's really important that you work on completing the graphic organizer and contribute as a member at a minimum of at least 1 or 2 comments per web's cluster. So this is a cluster, this is a cluster, this is a cluster, and that's a cluster. All right, so we'll work on the main idea together as a class, but I want you for right now, for the next 5-6 minutes, I want you to try to dissect each of those paragraphs. Okay, does everybody understand what they're doing? All right, let's go see how quickly you can. You know what, let's do this a little differently. You guys do paragraph 2, you guys do paragraph 3, you guys working on the same cluster do paragraph 4, okay, so you'll have half of it and you'll have half of it. You guys do 5, and you guys can do 5, and you guys can do 2, okay? So a couple people will be doing the same thing, but let's just, so that way you're only having to do 1 paragraph, okay? So get with your partner and do the one paragraph that I gave you to do, and then we'll get back together and fill it out together. All right, go. If you hurry. Yes. 5. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So paragraph 5 goes right there. Actually doing 4. Go for it. You're doing this one right here. I know, you're doing, oh yeah, you're doing that one right there. That one right there. This is 3. That's 4. 1, 2, 3. So you're doing that one. That 4th one, last one. Yeah. You guys are doing number, the top of 3. You're doing this part of 3, so that's right there. So you'll do like these first 2. Yes. Yes. You're doing the last half of, see you didn't label it right. This is 3, and this is 4. And nobody's doing that one. So you're doing this one right here, 3B. 3A, 3B. That's the one. You're doing 4, right? Yeah, so you're doing that one. Yes, just the paragraph. Are you guys talking together, working together?
Yeah.
So you're not even facing each other, how can you do that? I know, they're gonna show. Are you guys talking together? Yeah. Okay, make sure that both people in your group agree with what you have to say. So you two talking together? Make sure Sammy gets a chance to voice his ideas too. Are you two sharing your ideas? When you're finished, just stick your pencil up in the air. Sam needs to either look at you and talk to you. You doing okay? All right. You're done? Pencil's in the air. Okay, I see that. I see what you're doing now. You guys done? Okay.
But we're doing paragraph 5, right?
Well, it's actually paragraph 4. P's 1, 2, 3A, 3B, 4.
Oh, so what about
That goes right there.
ours?
Yeah.
So it's that last paragraph?
It's this one right here, yes.
Oh.
A little confusing. Okay. You guys ready? You guys are ready? Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna give you 1 more minute to finish that up. Okay, if you're finished, just go ahead and take this quick little vocabulary checkup to make all independently, not together, to make sure you understand the vocabulary words that we're using. So put your name on it and fill that out real quick while we're waiting for everybody to get done.
No.
That'll be your exit ticket. As you walk out the door, you can hand me that vocabulary checkup. Remember your signs and let that help you create your answers for your vocabulary. I forgot to put A on it, so just put A on it. Yeah. Remember, the first possibility, just put an A on it. My computer aided. Okay, tuck your main idea, graphic organizer and your story, your little article in your notebooks, and I will take your pride books, and I will take your vocabulary. Thank you for your participation, ladies and gentlemen. And tomorrow we will, or Monday that is, we will real quickly finish this up and discuss all of the main ideas so that we have looked at, after reading a passage, you can break down the paragraph and you can accurately complete the graphic organizer with details and come up with a main idea. That's what we need to be able to do when we read nonfiction information. Okay, do I have you guys this? Thanks, Terry. All right. I hope that you guys have a fabulous rest of the day. Remember, people love you. Make good choices this weekend. Do I have everybody's vocabulary sheet? Awesome, awesome. You guys did a great job, and I thank you so much for your participation. We'll finish this later. Have a great rest of the day. You can stop.
Here.